Hello, hello. I am so excited to share something with you. If you are in my On the Science of Reading Bus Facebook group, you will have had a little sneak peek at my latest resource. I was shopping in Officeworks one day for things I just didn't need, and I know that you can relate. And an idea came to me about something that will be absolutely useful for you. My hope is that it's just so incredibly useful for you that you can reduce your cognitive load and get better results for your students. And here's what it is. It is a document called the Reading Success in Action Lesson Sequence. Let's be really clear. This is not a program. I'm not a program developer. It's not what I do. If you have a program in your school, one of those really fantastic, high quality, systematic synthetic phonics programs, do that one better. So get really great at that one and you're going to be fantastic. But I know that so many of you don't have the benefit of a great program and you are dipping your toe in the water of systematic synthetic phonics, or you're the lone voice in your school and no one else seems to care about this stuff and you're trying to put it together. You might be a team who's new and you want to take some small steps to really tighten up your teaching. That's what this is for. So what it is a resource that takes you through teaching the entire basic code. And yes, there will be complex code versions coming, but I'm just about to send this one to the printer. Now, for each grapheme, or you can see all my notes all over it, for each grapheme, there is a separate lesson plan. And let me show one to you. This is the lesson. Now, this little box, this little page, as with all these boxes, is going to keep you out of trouble. So it has a lesson sequence. It has word lists. There aren't many when we're learning it does follow the letters and sounds sequence, simply because that one is out there and there's lots of resources already aligned. And so there's no revision words yet because we haven't learned any, but there will be revision words in there. There's actually 4 word lists for each grapheme, so that you can go back and reteach and know that you have another set of words there. Now, the word list is important because one of the key features of a systematic synthetic phonics approach is that it is cumulative. So every step of the way builds on the ones before, trying to figure out, well, what words have they already done and what sounds do they know, and is it time to put this word in, can just, make the whole thing really, really hard. And it's really easy to give up and get a bit muddled. And that's not because you're a bad teacher, it's just because you're a human being. So I've done all that hard work for you. We also have different sentences, so decodable sentences. These ones are done orally straight from the start, looking at the language and what does it mean, and let's draw a picture. So in those very early days before we're ready to read sentences, we're just doing it orally. But as it goes through, there are 3 levels of sentence for every grapheme, so that you can make the decision about where your students are up to. And I'm just trying to find one so that I can see you. Here it is. So your version is going to be so much prettier than this one. This is my draft that I've been writing all over. But you can see that there are 3 levels of sentence there. There is also, which I think is such a, I'm so excited to have done this work for you, is that for every set, so letters and sounds works in sets of graphemes, for every set, I have aligned the decodable text from 5 different sets of decodables. So they are Decodable Readers Australia, the spelled SA free readers. So if you're in the position that you have 0 resources, don't worry, I've got you covered. I've looked at the Little Learners Love literacy books, as well as the Read Write Ink story books and the phonic books, the Dandelion launches. So those 5 series of decodable texts have been covered. Now, what that means for you is that you don't have to sit there and flick through whatever you happen to have. If you're a New South Wales teacher, your school has Decodable Readers Australia and Little Learners Love literacy. Your department has done that for you, and so that's very exciting. But it can be a challenge to know, when can I use this book now? I'm not quite sure what it looks like. So I've done that work for you. So you can absolutely be guaranteed that when you put a book in front of a student, that they know the graphemes and they know the irregular high frequency words, because I've mapped out where those irregular high frequency words sit and actually included them in the teaching, so that you know that they'll be covered. And I'm just finding here, so there's a little box. I can't wait to send this to the printer so I've got a real version to share with you. But there's a little box here and it tells you the irregular high frequency word. And then in this teacher background knowledge box, it might say, when teaching no, show the children the connection between no and go. It may have some background information around language or just a teaching point that says, remember not to use the schwa. So that's on the t and lessons, reminding you not to use schwa as you go. So the lesson itself is all very good, and that's great. I've made videos actually showing you how to conduct the lesson. I have plans to have videos that show real children in real classrooms, but for now it's just me. But I know that you can't wait for me to have a chance to find some children and do that. You need this information now. So those are coming, but there are videos with QR codes within the booklet itself. So you just scan the QR code and it brings it up. And this is fantastic for working with our paraprofessional colleagues, our education assistants or teaching assistants, because often we need to have them work with our struggling students. But if you and your colleague can be on the same page, if you've got the same lesson structures in front of you, then it means that there's the opportunity for you to take the strugglers and your colleague to work with the rest of the class or different groups. So that really maximizes your instructional time. And I've kept this very simple to keep in mind parents or our teaching assistant colleagues, so that everybody can access this, and it's really simple. Now, to go along with it, you will have access to a downloadable PDF partner practice booklet. And what this is all about is extending your lesson into the partner practice. So the initial lessons don't have words because the children can't read them yet, but there's a little phonological phonemic activity there for them to do, which either they can do with a partner or you can lead it from the front. Then it moves into words. So the students will have words from the lesson. So if you're teaching the lesson, the children are practicing reading the and having some revision of the last set of sounds as well. Then there are words. These are the same words that were in your lesson, so that there's familiarity there and they get fluency and practice. Once children, and I've just had a bit of a guess at, where may they, start to be reading sentences, and you will make adjustments to suit where the children are up to. That's the craft of teaching, isn't it? You responding to the needs of kids. And that's one of the other reasons I put this together, because if we can lighten your cognitive load, if you don't have to spend all weekend and every night trying to figure out what to teach and how to do it, you can focus on the differentiation. You can focus on meeting the needs of your students. So once they can read sentences, we have a combination of the words, but then also sentences. So in this particular page here, I've looked at what are the graphemes that children will encounter in the sentence, popped it at the top with the irregular high frequency words to practice, and then they do this as a partner. Now, the partner practice book, you may have noticed, has an apple and a fish and an apple and a fish and an apple and a fish. That's to facilitate the partner practice and turn taking, because particularly when our students are new to us, they don't necessarily quite know how to do that well. And so this just helps them out. And so this is a fluency practice sentence. Now, there are 3 levels of sentence in the lessons themselves, but the sentence included in the practice book is the highest level one, because we want everyone to have that opportunity where appropriate to stretch. It's not about everyone doing the same, it's that everyone gets to stretch. And so that even our students who within the context of the lesson maybe were okay with the number 2 sentence, because this is just adding 1 word at a time and it's partner practice, there's a really good chance that they can actually get to do this longer sentence and build fluency. But you again will make those decisions as a teacher about what is important for your class and your students, because you know them best. So as I said, I'm not trying to be a program developer. It's not what I'm about, but simple tools that help you take really effective action to implement structured literacy teaching in your classrooms, I think is a very exciting undertaking. So as I've said, I'm about to send this off to the printer, and you can now pre-order your copy of this book. At some point into the future will be available electronically via Amazon, but it's not at the moment. Now, I do also have to mention, this is not the book I'm working on. That one is a published book by a publisher, and that's coming next year, I think, maybe the end of next year. This is just something that I felt this huge burst of energy around how to support you, and the feedback has been really good from those I've shared it with. So you can pre-order it. It is $88, and it comes as a hard copy only, but that includes your GST. Yep, always got the GST. It includes GST and postage within Australia. So that will take you through your whole of your foundation year, and also your children in year 1 and year 2 and beyond who are still working on these fundamental skills. That is my very exciting announcement. So click below to read a little bit more and to grab your copy on pre-order. Be one of the first. It's first in, first posted. When they come in, they'll be in a few weeks. But I'm very excited and looking forward to hearing all of your feedback. Happy teaching, everybody. Have a fabulous rest of the week or the holidays or whenever you're seeing this. I'm just so excited. Thanks. Bye.